All right, hi everybody. So today I'm going to do a little bit of vimming on a Matlab project that I have for work. I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm in my basement about 11 o'clock on a holiday evening, and my HVAC turns on periodically, so hopefully it doesn't interrupt the sound too much. And this is my first go at a screencast, so I'm going to try to put on screen keys when it's relevant and kind of talk to things that are relevant as we go. But mostly, I think this is just for the benefit of new people watching Vim and just seeing how other users work. So I'm going to go ahead and start up here. So this project is actually an example project for a little bit of software that I wrote over the last couple of years. It does agent-based simulation, and just to show you, there's a couple of easy parts. The main nuts and bolts of it there are in public sim, and I have some like this plus ATC and plus Boids, which is how Matlab does packaging. For anyone who uses a real programming language, I'm sorry you have to watch me use Matlab, but I don't actually have a whole lot of choice in the matter. There's a new package that I'm working on here, this plus UAV tracking, that's supposed to be the kind of most generic example problem. So just if I hop in here to Vim and see what's kind of what, there are sort of two parts to this thing. There's a set of runners. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so I can see it as well. Hopefully my keyboard isn't obnoxious. But these agents are kinds of groups of players here that work together. Right now there's not a whole lot of anything. There's a tracking UAV, and there's a ground station, and the whole thing is it tracks trucks on the ground and stuff. It's maybe not that relevant. But all of that's managed by this runner, and I got this fancy test here. So no one's going to have the full code here to kind of follow along or anything like that, but I doubt you'd want to in the first place. So this tracking UAV is actually pretty easy here. It's got the main class to have a handful of properties. It just says what kind of sensor are we going to use, what kind of tracker are we going to use when it generates measurements. You're required to have a run at time method, and the simulation calls this kind of periodically. But here in this case, we have an initialization method, and what that does is kind of turns the sensor on, turns the tracker on, and connects them together. And those methods are down here. Let me go kind of down further. Let's get this back to the top here. But those are kind of boilerplate methods. And what happens a lot in my work is somebody comes along and they see the example, but then they're kind of stuck, because if you don't know what you're doing here to make this nice template, then what are you supposed to do? So what I'm going to try to do tonight is I want to make a version of this that, rather than using all of this fancy inheritance here, so that's what's going on up on the top here with the kind of less than sign and the ampersands all around. It says what kinds of things this guy is. I'm going to try to get rid of those one at a time, particularly these last two, and see if I can make something that standalone works a little bit better. All right, sorry, bourbon break. Okay, so first thing we're going to want to do is hop into this same place where the other code is, and we're going to do something like custom tracking uav.m, and I have, oh, no, that's not what I want. Let's do 6, and I'm going to just go ahead and grab all. Actually, before I get into this too deep, let me go ahead and turn on screen keys. Give me some small screen keys, that'll be fine. Okay, so I'm using DWM as my tiling window manager. Pop out occasionally to spin up new terminals. I just like this better than tmux. It works better for me in general. Okay, so first thing, let's get all of this, and then we're gonna go look and see the custom UAV tracking is the 7th one, and let's paste that in here. So looking through this a little bit, kind of at the top level, I'm not going to mess with this air movable. This is a thing that just says kind of how this UAV is supposed to behave. It makes it stay at a particular altitude and kind of move around. Really, it's the sensor and the tracker that I'd like to kind of fix up here. So if I jump down here, you'll see that this guy does a couple of things. First, it sets up kind of the parameters for this guy and the distribution that we draw from, but it uses this enable sensing method. And so what I kind of want to do first is pull that over. So let's start there. Sensing, there's that one, and then I've messed with my GF for Matlab so that you can kind of open things with the Matlab package structure, which is a little bit cumbersome, I guess, but it's nice when you're inside the editor. It just kind of sucks when you're trying to use Vim for any of this stuff. So that thing was called what? Enable sensing. Okay, so that takes a sensor type. We got it. What does it actually do, though? Looks like it evaluates that sensor type. It sets any parameters that need to be set, and then rebuilds a topic and schedules at times. This thing uses publish and subscribe. This rebuild observation message topic thing, what that really does is just kind of create a place for all of our data to go. And then it enables taskable, presuming that it is taskable. So I don't need all of that, but I'm going to take some of it. Let's yank in the paragraph here. So we got those 13 lines. Go back here, and let's just let's go to the bottom here. So where are these things at? Let's start something right here. So there we are. There's our enable sensing, and we're going to tune this up to be kind of more like what I actually want it to do. So I know that I'm not going to mess with these sensor param names, so I can kind of like get rid of that. Assert, we must have an observable manager. So I think that's a good thing to have done actually first. I don't know why that's being done there. So we need something that tracks where the things are in this scenario that we actually want to generate measurements for. Okay, so now we're going to enable sensing with this type. So we want to rebuild that message. We want to schedule periodic sensing. That's fine. And this is not a taskable sensor. 2DJ. So let's get rid of that. And that gives us a good looking function here. Okay. So now let's go back and see what was there for was there a no, there is not enable tracking here, obviously, duh, because I'm not in the right tracking here. So if I pop that open again, and then let's enable tracking. So here, that's this one. So let's yank that bit, go back here, back to the bottom. I wish I knew a better way to do that. Maybe if somebody knows how to do that better, they can tell me. Create a blank line and then get out, because I want these to be all single spaced. Let's see here. So let's go down one, and what happens here? Okay, so we need a track database. We've got a tracker type. Template tracker equals, what is that? Input type is template tracker, email type. Okay, I don't really know what that does, but I do know that my custom version doesn't need any of this stuff to begin with. So the kind of generic versions of these that we're copying from handles a whole bunch of different methods. Or sorry, different tracking classes, and we don't want most of that. So first, I know it doesn't require ground truth, and I know I don't want to provide ground truth. So if I do just 5DJ, then that's all gone. We rebuild the topic. Tracking is remote. Okay, so we may want some of that going forward. Okay, so we're gonna enable that. We have two things that are relevant to look at here. Well, let's make sure all of this works first. Ooh, licensing error. Okay, well, that is strange because I'm connected. So this might be a short video here. Let's see. Okay, let's go there again. Let's look at that. This is my git fetch, and there's nothing, but it says license checkout failed. Okay, well, okay. Let's not worry about that right now. We'll get rid of that, and we'll open one of these maybe. Try it this way. Sure. Matlab. Already said go. Unable to connect to the license server. Okay, well, I guess that means I'll just make a better hack at putting all this together, and you'll have to take my word for it that, well, it's going to be broken. That's it's going to be broken. But we'll fix it at some later time. Okay, so this thing now has an enable sensing, which tracks with enable sensing, which is up here in our enable sensor thing, which is fine. Maybe that's a little bit cumbersome to do that way, but you know what? I'm going to leave it actually. Let's go the other way here. But it still needs, so there's an anonymous function here, right there, that at periodic sensing that says schedule whatever that is. So let's go see what that is. What do I have back here? Tracking, not what I want. So it's my remap for FZF here. Sensing, yeah, that will be the one. And then we need to go look for, what the hell is that? No. Distribute, no. Periodic sensing, that's what I was looking for. Periodic sensing, okay, well, that looks pretty familiar. Let's get that up at the top, periodic sensing. And it says if this thing is destroyed, then don't do anything. We're not going to worry about that, because if this thing is destroyed, then I'm going to be smart and remove it. I think that's already done. Okay, well, rather than dick with it here in this class, let me yank that, come back here, 3J, paste. I guess maybe this is faster. Oh yeah, that's a better way of doing that. Okay, so if this thing is destroyable, don't care. 2J, periodic observation generates queries. Let's get this up to the top here. Periodic observation generation queries. Period observable sensor status, get sensor status. Okay, so that seems fine. So if there is something to look at, if not as empty observables, if it's not taskable, or if it is rather, then do that, but I don't need that because it's not one of those. This is something just super basic, just so I can show kind of new kids how this works. Get observations, that's fine. So for local ID, so that's all the things you can see potentially. And then for all of those, we get the movable ID. I don't really know why that's being done. What happens next? Oh wow, that's really cool. Well, those don't come out. They are not being, oops, sorry. They are not being used except for here, so I don't care. Actually, let's be good about this. So, where was that? Go this way. Yeah, put that in the middle of the screen where I can see it. Visible IDs. Okay, let's go look at that. And there are only 2. Okay, so let's leave ourselves a note to do. Really need this here? Well, okay, actually, I got this thing going on. I should really be doing that. Do we really need this here? Okay. What's the sense of setting up all your aliases if you're not going to use them? Okay, so here we are. We have this fancy thing, generates our observations. If not as empty local message IDs. Okay, then we generate a message. We go down here. Let's do another one. Okay, if transmit observations. See, I may want to do that actually. What's the other thing? Well, is there an else? Is there something about that that's... No. It literally just ends. So, okay, I guess that answers that. I'm going to put a space in there. If it's empty, observation callback function. It seems like I don't have any of those. Do I? Let's go back to the original one. Callback, func. So where is that done? Register one of those. I didn't do that. Disable, and I didn't do one of those. So I'm pretty sure that I don't need that. Okay, in that case, let's probably there's a better way to do this. DJ, we just get rid of that. If and if is empty, observation callback function, and don't transmit observations. What? Okay, let's undo that just in case. Oop, wrong way. Here. Okay, so if that thing is empty, meaning there's no callback, or I'm sorry, if not is empty. So if there is a callback, that's what we're going to do with it. But we don't have one of those. So if it's empty and we don't transmit, oh, I see. So if there's nothing to be done when you transmit, or rather, if you don't transmit and there's nothing to be done on taking a sensor, then there's no data flow out. Okay, I'm gonna actually leave both of these because it sounds like maybe I need one. So I'm not gonna mess with that. It's weird after how many months you come back and look at code and have no idea kind of what's going on. Okay, so that's that. There was also this. Well, let's open my tag bar. What's going on over here? Okay, so enable tracking. So let's see. So we do it. We do this stuff. Do we have one of these? Oh, we do. Object tracking observation message handler. Okay, so let's get rid of tag bar. This laptop doesn't have that much screen real estate. Tracking, and get me that one. And this is, dang it, this always happens. Callback, no. Enable tracking, register callback func. Okay, so there is a callback for tracking if it's remote, which is fine for the tracking observation message handler. Okay, so let's just slash, I think it's just like, oh, well. Okay, so yet another annoyance. I've got this really cool add-on plugin that breaks your words such that if I'm working on this and I want to just like change in word, it no longer kind of treats it as a typical word. It goes until my next case. Well, let me just, maybe this is worth a little foray since my other thing isn't working, because I can't do a test. So if I go, oh no, it's here. No, that's not it. So if you're not using Vimplug, you should be. It's asynchronous and super cool, especially if you come from Vundle. So in here, there are a handful of really cool things. So obviously I got Vim snippets and Quickscope, you probably already saw. Targets.vim for extra different word objects, which is nice. Matlab folding. Tag bar. Oh, come on. What's the thing I'm even looking for? That's a good question. That is a good question. So I guess I demonstrated visual star search earlier. So this is, lets me match my for loops, or rather if or for or while or anything like that to jump to the ends. But the thing I'm looking for is the plugin, not repeat indent. Well, this is not turning out to be a good diversion. Maybe there's maybe I got something more that runs down here. Okay, so there's the Cock and this other stuff. I don't know. Well, it's in there. I don't know where we put all this stuff. Traces was awesome, or is awesome, so you see some of that. Maybe it is targets. Maybe that's what it is. Just because I'm curious. Oop. Oh, cute browser. Oh, great. Excellent. Okay, well, let's kill that. 2, 3, 4, where we were. There we are. Reload me. Come on. You can do it. I'm just like not connected to the internet for some reason. Good grief. Good grief. It says I'm connected. Alright, well, I'm about to give up on this little foray. Ah, there we are. Well, maybe. Yeah, there's something totally wonky going on here. I'll try one other thing before I give up. So let's see here. So if I activate a connection, don't judge me. I'm a child. Let's see here. So I want to activate a connection. Oh, fine. Back activate. Give me that 5G. Give it to me and stop complaining. This may be the reason why I couldn't run a minute ago. Okay. Okay, back. There we are. Quit. Okay. So now, what is the matter with this? Okay, well, I'm flying with no internet. Doesn't matter. So somewhere in this list, for anyone who cares, there is such a plugin that lets you go treat parts of a nice kind of like upper camel case or snake case or something words as individual words, which is nice, except for in the case that I was just showing, where it is totally not so cool because I wanted to grab the whole word under the cursor and I didn't. Okay, so tracking observation message handler is what I want. Tracking observation message handler. Okay, so there's that. Show me where it actually is. Function tracking observation. Ooh, there we are. Okay, so let's put that up at the top. So this does apparently a whole bunch of stuff, and some stuff that's commented, which is not ideal. But let's take that with us. We're gonna go, and we're gonna just put that there. Tracking observation message handler. Cool. Oh, not initialize. If this okay, that's fine. This is not the case, so we don't need that. Update. So for each of the messages, we're gonna go check some IDs. I don't know why there's all this extra lines here. I don't know if any of you guys have this problem, but I work with a lot of students and other people that are not using a linter, and they always add ridiculous spacing and kind of don't pay attention to Git. It's like a constant struggle to get everybody trained. Non-ideal association. I don't think that's the case. Let's go back here. Enable non-ideal association. Object got enable non-ideal association. So it's literally only in those places, and it's off. And as I recall, tracking UAV, I did not set that. Ideal. Nope, doesn't exist. Okay, so this whole thing is garbage. Don't need it. Don't want it. Okay, and non-ideal association. What the hell is that? Hold on a second. Just give me a Oh. So when I deleted that, it took my paragraph to be separated by space. So really what I want is to use, well, I'll just visual select it, because, no, not 67. No. Well, thanks screencast for showing me when I'm stupid. 6J. There, that's what I want to delete. So I don't need any of that. Get updated IDs. Track update from map. Okay. I don't really like the way that looks for Doppler shifting. Okay, so let's get rid of that. And then I think we're okay here, actually. So what else do we need to do? We got all of those anonymous functions, at least in that particular spot. Was it / no? Okay, undo that. I don't know what it is to refresh all my folds off the top of my head, but I can do it this way. That's totally a pain in the ass. Extra blank line. Enable tracking. Periodic sensing. Oh, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Tracking observation message handler. What are you doing here? Okay, so that was at the wrong. I guess I just want to put it like there we go. He was in totally the wrong place. Okay, oops. Okay, got all of those. Holy cow. What if I told you that was not helpful at all? Screen keys. Great. Okay, well, I guess while I'm here I can showcase that yes, there are test functions, which is great here at the bottom. So theoretically everything has a test. Theoretically I will write that test at some other time here. Okay, so I have all of those things. I guess the next thing to do is delete all of this and hope that it will work, but I know that it won't because there's some stuff about, well, enable sensing. Okay, so here it does rebuild observation message topic. Okay, so let's does that work? No, of course it doesn't. So this is quick scope. If you guys haven't used that coloration, it's pretty nice actually. So I'm gonna go here and then find the next one, and then I'm gonna select until the paren. And what am I gonna do with that? Okay, I'm gonna do like Control A Y. Sure, that's fine. Why wouldn't I do it that way? And that's gonna be in sensing, I guess. Sensing. Okay, here we are. So now I should be able to do like a slash Control R A. Yeah, all right. I have never done that before, but it definitely worked like a charm. Okay, so this does some stuff about observation group IDs and some other random business here. So let's take that with us, and we don't need that. Let's put it here. I think that's the best way of doing that. Paste above and then put an extra line. Sure, why not? Observation message topic. So I know that that is busted because I don't have one of those. If you just set a little mark here. So mark, and I go up here. You see there is not one of those. And then if I tick back to my mark, T, there it is. Oh, and there's a get data topic, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that's got to get fixed, which is going to be really challenging to do if I don't have Wi-Fi. What the heck is? All right, one more here. Fish sticks. Whoo! Hey, look at that. I do have Wi-Fi. So I guess. Where's that, Vim? Okay, well. Targets. Sure. Oh, okay, okay. So, it was just me being ridiculous. Let's go back to my tab I usually do this stuff on. VPN. Try to connect. So, I'm a research scientist at Purdue, for anyone who noticed. I spent a lot of time doing this kind of stuff. So let's start beating on it. Okay, the next thing to do. Let's start Matlab here. Ooh, hey, look at that. Oh, but before I do that, so this isn't going to work, and I know that because if I pop open my fuzzy finder to pick a file and I do something like ground test, which I happen to know the runner ground test. Ah, there it is. I happen to know that it's not built in here yet. So what does this thing do? Here it is. So it's this guy. He's got a build method. And then there's, well, let's go down here a couple times. Aha, okay. So, I have a target, I've got a UAV. What I don't have is that custom UAV. So let's paste that. It's UAV, I'm sure, I guess. Why wouldn't I? Group type. Relationship, wireless line of sight. Okay, capital T. Give me the next. There's a lot of capital T's. Custom? Is that what we called it? Is that gonna? Aha! Yes. All right. So that worked. So I have a custom UAV now and a ground station. So I just want to wire this thing up just exactly the same way. I'm gonna call that CU1. Well, C1. Sure. Well, okay, dollar paste, and I need that. What the hell am I doing? This is stupid. Okay, there we go. Our custom one, FU, there, I like that. Custom, and instead of being a UAV, this is going to be FU. A custom UAV. So I guess that's going to be what we want there. I'm tempted to turn off screen keys here. I don't think it's actually helping anybody. Maybe it is. At least if I type a whole bunch of stuff in a row, it's not that useful. Okay, so I have that. I have one of them. I need to add it. I want to add it exactly the same way as I do here. Okay. So air start, air finished. Are those? Let's go back in time here. Oh, it's not. It's not that. It's the hashtag key. Air start. Okay, and it's got randomness associated with it. Okay, so that's fine. We can build them both at the same time, and that should work. All right. So now, let's save that. And shoot, let's break it. Okay, so I know I have what is it? UAV tracking runners ground test. This is the test. Ready, set, busted. Okay, so class name and file name do not agree. Oh, okay. Well, that's easy to fix. So let's custom. Ah, yes, that's correct. So let's go through this thing and find tracking UAV, and let's replace it with custom tracking UAV all the way through. All right, you know what? I am gonna turn off screen key. Apparently, I've done that before. Okay, so I guess now maybe it's easier to see what's going on, or well, I'll leave that up to you all to decide. So let's try that again. Run the test. Unrecognized property or method, property, method, or field client switch. Okay, connect agent. So who calls that? Who did that? Client switch. Okay, let's just go look. Sensing. Okay. Client switch. Nope, not that one. Okay, so it must have been the other one, which is the tracking. That one. No client switch. Aha. Oh. Look at that. There's a whole other class here that we weren't messing with. Okay. So let's take the whole thing, and then where are we going? We probably want to go back to the custom tracking UAV. So through inheritance, we had picked up some classes, and they are no longer there anymore. So we're going to have to do this kind of the old-fashioned way and pick that up. Okay, custom enable sensing, observable object manager. Because it's not sensing, so you don't get one by default. Huh. Ha. Isn't that interesting? So how are we going to deal with that? Okay, so that problem is actually this problem. Well, let's just go hunting around here. So if I go up and I jump into the guts of this model here, and I do, there's a code-based orchestration thing, scenario model. Let's assume that it's model. I don't really know. Okay, so there's a data service. There should be something about sensor. No, not here. Okay. Well, let's go back and look in scenario. Oh, I don't need that. I've already got it. There is no sensor. Build? No. Build agent. Okay. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So when we add this thing, siminst.add callee, that's fine. Configure agents. Here we are. So see this thing, it says set properties, observable management. So where is that done? Override it. Okay, great. Based on its type. And it says if is method set observable manager, then you give it one. Oh. Well, hell. Why didn't we just do that to begin with? So set observable manager. Okay, yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Custom. Observable manager. We're going to want one of those. And then we're going to want a method. Where do we want to put it, though? I guess it doesn't really matter. Let's do it down here in this garbage. Ooh. I hate that. Hate that. Okay, so let's do function. And we're going to do set observable manager. Ooh, thank you. And we give it itself. And then we're going to give it observable manager. Okay, cool. Manager. There. Okay, so then I could do an assertion here. I probably should, but I don't want to at this juncture because I'm trying to just get it to work. To do put an assertion here. Okay, and we'll do object.observe observable manager equal observable manager, yeah? Is that all it is? Set observable manager. Set observable manager object dot obs object. Okay, so that's just the one that's there. So then I get one of those, which is fine. I'm actually gonna get rid of this because I spent so much time building a fancy little dude here to do this job that I'm just gonna use it, although it's not as awesome on a laptop, I will say, for sure. Okay, so what's our next crash? Okay, so error. Okay, so let's go to the bottom here, and we'll just go back until the last time we had one of those things. Error. Okay, error in enable sensing. Assert not as empty. Must set observable manager before sensing. Oh, it's observable object manager. Okay. Sorry. Observable object manager. Okay, here we are. Manager. What's the next one that does that? Okay. Set observable manager, observable object manager. Observable manager. Okay. I don't know why that's got to be the name, but that's got to be the name. So let's go back here. Try it again. Nice. Okay, find me ground test. Error. Great. What is it? Enable sensing. Sensor eval sensor type. Equals eval sensor type. Do I not have one of those? Error in enable sensing. What is wrong with that? Object.sensor. Oh, I bet that's the problem. Probably, if we're going to have a sensor, we should have a place to put it. For the custom tracking UAV. And sensor. Hey, hey. Probably they're going to need one of those too. I guess we'll find out in a second. Okay, no question there that was going to happen again. Next, initializing simulation, unrecognized property, method, or field, observation topic key for this thing. Well, that's probably because we don't have one yet. Observation topic key. So let's sensing. Ha. There's that. So let's take it with us. Okay. And I guess let's do it again. So here we are. Oh. We want the one that looks like nasty. It's 22. Unrecognized property, class, or field. Custom observation key. Oh, yeah. Because I haven't run it again yet. Get rid of all this stuff. UAV tracking runners ground test. Okay. Well, that's cool. I like that it goes ahead and collapses that for me. Okay, error there, observation, num to string, observation group ID. Ugh. Okay. So this just keeps going. All right, well, rather than subject all of you to some more of this, for more time. This is, I guess, a look at my my workflow, which is break it and then try to fix it, and a little snapshot of Vim. There will be a lot more to come, I hope, because Watch People Vim seems to be growing, and I'd like to be able to contribute more to both that community and just Vim in general. So look out for more of my posts, I suppose. I expect these screencasts to get better. Of course, if you have any suggestions or things I did in a weird way or anything like that, feel free to leave them as comments, and hopefully I'll circle back with you. So thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time after I fix this knee-deep set of garbage.